But we've got some more trading recommendations as well lined up on the show. We've got Jay Thakkar joining in as well. Welcome to the show, Jay. It's holding out well for the markets right now. What would be on the buy radar?
Hi, good morning. Absolutely, we have seen a good breakout, and we have seen that the same thing has been repeated in what happened in May series. We have seen a good breakout coming in the past 2 days of the last 2 days of the series. Similar kind of thing has been seen in the June series as well. We have seen a good breakout above 8300 levels. So I think that now this market sustains above 8250, which is now the swing support. Till that time, we can see the market inching towards the levels of 8450, thereafter 8500. Hence, I have a few buy recommendations, one of which is Astral Poly. It has given a good breakout from a downward sloping channel, as well as it has confirmed the higher tops and higher bottom on the daily as well as the weekly chart. The indicators are well into the buy mode, and stock is trading well above its averages. So the technical evidences are all well for the bulls. I think the minimum target that comes on the upside in the medium term comes to 555, and for that one can take the stop loss at 465. The second buy recommendation would be in IOC. This has been a laggard in the entire OMCs. We have seen BPC and HPCL performing quite well compared to IOC, but then recently in today's trading session, we have seen finally a breakout coming in this stock as well. I think till the levels of 450 are maintained on a closing basis. One can go long on the stock for a target of 485. And the final recommendation is on Sundaram Fasteners, which has a similar pattern like of Astral. It has retested the downward sloping channel and has again reversed on the upside. The indicators are still in the buy mode. I think it has a good risk reward for the bulls. The minimum target that comes on the upside that comes to 210, and for that one can maintain a close at 175.
All right, Jay, thanks a lot for taking us through some of those picks that you have recommended. Sameet, coming to you, what is it that you'd recommend to our viewers this morning?
Good morning to both of you. All buy list. First buy would be on Apollo Tyres. The stock has clearly given a breakout from falling wedge pattern on daily charts. We can also see positive divergence in RSI smoothened oscillator on daily chart. If we look at the weekly chart structure, last week the stock found a strong support around its 200 SMA on weekly chart and formed a bullish hammer pattern. This pattern has been confirmed on a closing basis now. Thus, looking at the overall chart structure daily as well as weekly, we believe that the stock is likely to move higher. Immediate target would be 163, and it can be bought by keeping a stop loss at 147. The other buy call would be on CEAT. We have seen a stupendous recovery from its lows of 740, 750 in last 5 days. Yesterday the stock gave a minor correction, but we believe that that could be a very good buying opportunity, and we are interpreting it as a pullback. Going forward, we expect CEAT to move towards 915, which would be our target, and stop loss would now be at 835. Our final buy call would be on HDFC Bank. Clearly, this has been an outperforming stock in the entire banking space. Today, it has given a good breakout from a consolidation pattern around 1182, 1183. Looking at the overall chart structure and the positive trend, we expect this stock to move beyond 1200. 1230 would be our immediate target, and it can be bought by keeping a stop loss at 1158.
View coming in from Sameet and some of the top stocks that he's betting on. Meantime, let's hear out some more stock fundamental ideas. Girish Pai, Head of Research, Nirmal Bang Institutional Equities, talks about the stocks he's betting on.
We do cover a stock called Vinati Organics, which has done reasonably well. Except on the top line in FY16, I think this company is a crude derivative. I mean, the products are crude derivatives. So with pressure on crude prices, we've seen prices of the products also under pressure. But I think volumes have held up, margins have improved. This is a company which has been delivering very steady growth, very steady operating margins, and very high return ratios over the last few years. And I think that kind of view continues into the foreseeable future. So that's a stock that we kind of like, and we've been pushing to institutional investors. We kind of cover only SKS and Capital First at this point in time. We kind of pushing SKS more right now because Capital First stock price has reached close to the target price that we had in mind. So SKS, I think while the valuations are rich, we think that assets under management can potentially grow anywhere in the region of 35 to 45% in the next 2 to 3 years. I think in the large cap space, what we like, the two stocks we like are Maruti and Hero Motors. Both have kind of run up to an extent where the upside is quite limited. I think probably somewhere in the region of 5 to 10% to our target price levels. Maruti we like because we think there's going to be steady growth of maybe 10 to 12% in volume terms over the next couple of years. Margin should be steady at about 15% at the EBITDA levels. So the growth is going to be driven by new product introductions. In the two-wheeler side, we like Hero Motors. So Hero Motors, we think it can probably deliver, mid to high single-digit kind of volume growth, and a fair bit of. We think that EBITDA margins can stick around 15-16% levels where they are right now, and continue to deliver very high ROCEs and dividend ratios.
All right, that was a fundamental perspective coming in from Girish Pai. But let's get in a check and shift focus to the world of commodities. Mr. T. Gnanasekar joins in. He's the director at Comtrends Research and Fund Management. Good morning, sir, and good to have you on the show. First up, take us through your perspective on crude. That's been able to really go back to that $50 mark. Where do you see this one moving?
I think crude is clearly, finding a lot of resistance around $50, $51. Simply because still the sentiment is still fragile as far as crude is concerned. There is definitely supply pressure weighing on the markets, though one part of the market which feels that market has kind of come into balance as far as demand supply is concerned. But my own sense is it really needs a lot of positive triggers to break out of this, because a lot of excess supply and capacities which have been put on hold will come back into production at these high prices. So that will only add to further supply pressure. We already have Iran pumping oil in a big way, and the OPEC countries have been pumping in a big way. So the near-term fundamentals are really not conducive for crude prices to rise. But in general, I think what's happening is the market is buoyed by sentiment that there's going to be monetary policy easing on the back of Brexit. So that is kind of underpinning sentiment right now, and supporting prices at lower levels.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about gold as well. It's headed for its 5th weekly gain. Silver too is moving pretty steadily toward its 22-month high. What are the strategies on these two precious metals?
Well, I've always maintained this for a while now that there's a lot of reasons for being long in gold. And to me, some of the key reasons are the currency depreciation that could potentially happen across the world, and also the monetary easing which can happen post Brexit, and the Federal Reserve putting the rate hikes on hold. So these are all potentially strong factors which can push gold prices higher to the next level. I think $13.50, $13.45 seems to be a near-term resistance. And in the domestic market also, the rupee is not doing much. It is in a slight appreciating bias, but then there is an expectation that it will again start depreciating. So if you look at the levels, I think anything closer to 31,250, 300 thereabout becomes a good level to buy again. We're working with targets of 32,500 or so in the near term. And silver, always catches up with gold. It's been consolidating and not doing much. And since gold has rallied so much, I think it's time for silver to catch up, which is what is happening. So silver prices are also rallying because the gold-silver ratio is favoring silver prices to move up.
Okay, that's a view on precious metals, but let's also shift focus to base metals, in specifically copper, because that's one base metal that has really outperformed all the other base metals. It has moved quite strongly, and even the weak dollar has really aided that movement over there. What would you advise on copper? Do you think that one may just book the profits and move out of that one?
Yeah, fundamentally, I think copper is still a dicey commodity in the base metal pack. There are other base metals like zinc and nickel where there is actually a supply issue. those are some of the base metals which can potentially continue to move up, sustain and move up. But the sustenance of rally in copper, is a big question because it's still, there is a lot of surplus as far as copper is concerned. But the sentiment is very strong. There's expectation that there will be monetary easing in UK, EU and China. So all that is going to support the market. Recently, the property prices have also started going up in China. So that's good for copper. But sentimentally, there is a sort of a uptrend right now. But I'm not very hopeful that this will turn into a sustained rally. So yes, if one were already long, I think it's time to start booking some profits. But there is some scope for upside from present levels.
Okay, that's all of the commodity trading strategies coming in, but let's also answer our viewer query. Well, we've got a commodity related query from Mayank M, and he too has tweeted us on our Twitter page at AskBNSN. His question is, should crude be shorted with $51 as the stop loss? What is your advice, Gyanashekhar?
Yeah, if I think gentleman is willing to keep a stop loss, then yes, it definitely looks like it's going to be stuck in this range of 41 to 46 for some time. So around 50, 51 looks like a selling level to me. But again, it all depends on the sentiment. If the sentiment changes, I think it could possibly break 51 and move to the next zone, which is 55. But under the present circumstances and supply scenario, it doesn't look like that. It looks more likely that it could play this range of 51 to 44, 45. So, it's okay to try selling crude near $50, 51 levels with a stop at 51.5.
Okay, place a stop loss at 51.5 is what Mr. Gyanashekhar is advising. But on that note, thank you so much for joining in with your perspective on the commodity space. And at this point of time, we'd also like to thank all of our 6 guests for joining in on BNSN with their top technical views. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of BNSN. Thanks so much for joining in. Stay tuned for Market Sense, which comes up next.